Hi, I'm Sage Starkey, the host of the AllEars Amazing Race in Disney World. Now, a few weeks ago, 6 people embarked on a race that took them nearly 700 miles. But how did that race happen? This is the AllEars Amazing Race behind the scenes.
What was the AllEars Amazing Race in Disney World?
What wasn't the AllEars Amazing Race?
Controlled chaos.
AllEars Amazing Race in Disney World was our version of one of my favorite TV shows of all time, The Amazing Race. This is something we've wanted to do for years. It's actually been on the list of potential concepts since 2021 at AllEars, so it's been kind of stewing in the background for a while.
Where different teams travel the country and compete in different challenges or detours as they're called. These challenges can be physical, mental.
And by controlled, I mean our fates rested in the hands of Sage Starkey at all times. And that's scary stuff.
The AllEars Amazing Race in Disney World was a really fun challenge that we did over the course of a few days, like a week.
Took us across most of Disney World's parks and then some.
Pretty much when Sage got here, he pitched it again. We've gotten it pitched from our audience many times. So it just seemed like it was time to do it. This is one of the best competition shows on TV. I love The Amazing Race.
Favorite moment that you had during The Amazing Race? Honestly, my favorite moment was the challenge where we had to make a team flag. It was really fun to brainstorm with Quincy, and it was cool to kind of feel like, I don't know, like I was back in preschool, I guess, finger painting with honey and just being really creative and wacky.
My favorite moment by far in AllEars Amazing Race was in New Orleans with Miranda getting vegan beignets. That was a miracle.
You know, I had a pretty epic dance battle with Goofy. There have been rumors that we are gonna go on Dancing with the Stars. I neither confirm nor deny this, but I will say that I think Goofy's gotta work on his dance moves before I can really commit to something like that.
The hardest challenge I thought was definitely the character challenge in the first episode. Trying to remember the details around Donald's meet and greet was crazy. That was a crazy thing we had to do.
The hardest challenge was the food challenge, which I was very surprised by because I was excited for it, but I did not know how difficult it was going to be to get the frosting on the cupcake to be shaped like Mike Wazowski in the slushie. A little bit of a failure there, but it tasted really good, and I think that it counted that we tried to do something so difficult, and you get the gist of it, but that was exceptionally difficult.
The hardest challenge was probably the New Orleans one, just because it was very fish out of water. Like, give me anything in Disney World, I can do it. But New Orleans, I've never been.
Well, the hardest challenge was everything that we did in New Orleans. I mean, talk about taking me out of my element.
But if you guys like it, then maybe we could do more of that kind of thing and take our wacky board games and reality shows out to other places beyond Disney World.
I did not expect how much I would like this one. I don't tend to love doing the games because they just really stress me out, and I don't like competing against my friends because some people get like really into it, and I think that's really fun and exciting for them, and I don't like that. I don't like the energy. I just want us all to be friends and hang out. So I was really surprised by how much I liked this one.
I think I should have expected the punishments for getting answers wrong to be brutal, but I did not expect them to be as brutal as they were. Like, we are not here to play games, apparently. I mean, we were playing games, but like, we weren't pulling punches.
Everything felt really fun and exciting without feeling like, I don't know, stressful. I don't know how to put it. It was really great though, and I think it's maybe my favorite thing we've ever filmed.
I was really surprised that we ended up going to the airport and getting on a plane. I mean, being handed boarding passes and told, show up, you know, we're gonna pick you up in the van at this time and be ready, and we're flying to somewhere. That was very shocking and very exciting.
Going to New Orleans, that was crazy. What? we thought it had something to do with Port Orleans. Maybe we were throwing a lot of guesses out there, but when we got when we were told that we were going to New Orleans, mind blown.
I think another thing I didn't expect I did not expect to work out in the middle of Epcot.
The amount of angry texts and shaking their fists at me for the physical test that they had to do in front of Mission Space. Miranda was one of them. She was like, "That is the most embarrassed I have ever been in Disney World." So I got a lot of not happy texts from that physical challenge, and I wish they would have talked about how angry they were with me on camera.
I did martial arts for 6 years. I am a first-degree black belt, and I thought I would have been able to show off those skills, but I'm rusty. I'm a rider now. My workout is my desk treadmill, so I tried to add a little kick in there to show people hey, I used to work out.
I think I wouldn't have done too much differently. I really loved playing with Angie, and I'm so excited that we won because I don't win a lot of the big competitions. I've won the first last to leave, and I think that's the only thing I've won of one of the really big competitions. So that was really exciting. And then Angie, she had beginner's luck on our side because this is her first really big all-ears competition, and I'm really happy for us that we won.
If we're able to do something like that again, I would like to do it. One, I'd like to not break my foot and be there at the finish line because I think that would be cool. And then also, I would really like to do a cross country.
Oh, I definitely, if I had this to do over again, I wouldn't have gotten the vegan gumbo. I think that was a lot to ask of Miranda. We waited a really long time for that food, and I think it was because they were preparing the gumbo. I don't think it was the beignets, because the second time we ordered the beignets, it went a lot faster. So I've pretty much, in going over the game, in hindsight, come to the conclusion that I cost us the entire game by ordering that gumbo.
I would have won. If I'd done anything differently, we would have won. That's kind of the answer there.
I don't know if there's one specific thing I would do differently, but I'm very directionally challenged. Even with a GPS, I can get lost. It is a talent, I know. I'm sorry.
Okay, now it's time for the viewer Q&A. These are questions that we got asked on our Instagram, so we're gonna give them an answer. How were the teams chosen? So the teams were chosen by me in advance of the video. So when a video like this happens, typically the first step is that I, pick the video off of our pitch list. It gets pitched by whoever it gets pitched by. I pick the video and I schedule it and I figure out who can be in it based on schedules and who is around. And we had travel for this one. Emma had already moved when we started filming this. So it's a lot of moving parts about who can be in a video. And then from that, it was basically kind of random. I thought that the teams matched up well. I sort of just put down the names, and it was the first mix that came to me was Breedlove and Miranda are both on the reporting team, so I felt like it made sense. Angie and I are really getting along, and Bria and Emma really get along. So I think the chemistry of the teams really actually worked out fantastically.
How did you feel about your team? I loved being in a team with Quincy. She knows it all. I am in awe of her knowledge and how great of a study partner she was when we had to do the World Showcase and I had to remember everything. She coached me through it all. She helped me learn it. She would recite it with me.
I loved being on a team with Angie. First of all, we're Team Q&A. Angie made us our shirts. She was so excited to make us our shirts, and that was awesome. It was just so much fun getting to work with her.
My team was so great. Team Traders will forever go down in history. We are an unbreakable bond, Breedlove and I. I could not have asked for a better teammate.
I think Miranda is one of the strongest players on the All Ears crew, and I think that she and I click really well.
I love Team.
I loved my team. Maybe one of my favorite teams ever. Anytime I can be with the girls, it is my favorite day. Bria is the sweetest soul alive. I love talking with her. She and I can talk on end. We never run out of things to talk about.
Who you see on the screen, that lovely lady you see on the screen, is the same lady that you see in real life. She is just a gem, just absolute sunshine, and it was so fun. Like, every moment was just, we were laughing like the whole time, like we were just having a great time.
And I just really, I don't know, I really love her soul and her spirit, and that sounds like a joke, but it's very, very true. And I really love Bria, so I felt really good about my team.
How did I come up with all the challenges? That's a great question. A lot of research, honestly. I saw a season of The Amazing Race before writing this, before realizing I had to write all this, and then I did kind of like a full binge into all the different kind of challenges that they do, all the different versions, like the scramble that's showed up in recent years. I wanted to include that because I thought that was kind of fun. So how did I come up with these games? Just a lot of research, and honestly, this is gonna sound kind of boring, but a lot of these challenges are tied into storytelling, right? So are these first challenges exciting enough to grab our audience and like to start into that rising action? And then, hey, what's the climax? What can be a really cool challenge? So everything always, for me, always goes back to storytelling.
Have you ever started a video like this? It falls apart and we don't get to see it. I've made a video that never came out.
We have plenty of ideas that don't make it off the drawing board. Yes, that absolutely happens, where we start talking about a video and then we're like, I don't know about that, and you just don't see it come. We never go to the park.
I don't know, it was my first video. I think I needed to get something under my belt. It took me a long time to get comfortable because this was something so different from my past work.
Once our feet are in the park filming a video, it's officially expensive. So it's at the point usually where it's gonna go up. If stuff goes wrong, we have to make adjustments to make it go right.
I know there's like one really interesting game master where we forgot a camera, and it's really cuckoo bananas. I believe it's up in the channel. It is up in the channel, and I'm surprised I'd even made it. I would think that would get scrapped because of how crazy it was, but it worked out. So once again, those incredible editors really do an incredible job of putting all their footage together and somehow making it work. They're like wizards, magicians, it's magic. But yeah, I haven't been a part of something that has been scrapped as of yet.
I needed to do the work. I needed to go and film an entire video. One of our wonderful editors pieced it together for me and let me see what it looked like. And I said, okay, got it.
So by the time something is in the park, it usually goes up. I can think of one video that I started filming in the park that ended up not being up, and it was a challenge. I was filming it by myself. It was a ride photo challenge, and I started filming it, and I literally got to like 1 or 2 p.m., like moving and grooving. I had done 2 parks already, and I realized that my virtual queue hadn't gone through for Tron, and I wasn't gonna be in the park at the right time to be able to get the virtual queue. It was just, I had messed up the virtual queue, and I knew I wasn't gonna be able to complete the challenge, so I went home, and I had to try again another day.
It was, of course, about Epcot. And I have no idea what it was about anymore, but I know I went around and I rode rides and I talked about them.
So when it came to New Orleans, we were just trying to find different places that were connected to Disney somehow, but still exciting and not necessarily in the theme parks. We knew we wanted to end on something big. We knew we wanted to travel, and New Orleans felt like a really easier day trip than maybe some other places, and still had that fun Disney connection that was a little bit more deep-seated, so we had to work a little bit harder to figure out those connections, but I think that's more fun and the payoff was really there.
Did you have a favorite moment that did not make it into the video? Yes, now that I'm thinking on this. Breedlove had French toast sticks, I think, for the very first time, which I absolutely love French toast sticks from Burger King, and they're vegan. I had no idea, but we were sitting in the airport and we were all just sitting there in silence, just sitting there eating. Like, it was truly just a full frontal stare off into the distance and just eating in silence. It It was the best of times, it was the worst of times.
One of our off-camera YouTube managers does live in New Orleans, and she was actually there to help us that day. And I work with her very closely all the time, but I very rarely get to see her in person. It's usually like once a year, twice a year. So it was just really awesome to be able to have her like on location actually helping us out with the filming in New Orleans.
Our editors are masters. Like, we've all worked together now for so long. Quincy and I, just about 5 years with these editors, and I truly, honestly believe they know me better than I know myself, because they know when I'm being obnoxious and they cut it. And I'm obnoxious a lot.
Honestly, any of the conversations that Emma and I had just to kill time while we were waiting in line for things were phenomenal.
Me and Bria talking for hours at night, that wasn't filmed, but that was my favorite moment. Everything else really made it in. What does that say about us? We probably don't film enough, so they have to use it all.
Miranda, I don't understand Miranda's flip-flop situation. How do they make her faster? I don't know. They're blessed by Fry Bucket?
Oh, why did the U-turn work differently than in the regular Amazing Race? We love you, Team Team. Team Team loves you guys. Thank you so much. So this was a question we got a lot, and basically the real answer is because we only had 3 teams at our disposal during the time, we kind of had to make things work for us.
We wanted it in the game because it's such a huge part of the Amazing Race TV show, but you would never see a U-turn when there are only 3 teams left on the Amazing Race. So we had to change it a bit, make it a little bit more dramatic by making it possible to U-turn somebody who's in front of you.
And unfortunately, Bria and I were the ones who had to deal with that. And that's okay, I get it. They made the right choice. If Angie and Quincy hadn't U-turned us, they would have lost because we were that good.
One, I would have hoped that we would have been doing well enough that I didn't feel the need to use the U-turn, but Team Q&A was struggling in the early game. And 2, I didn't know that we were in second at the time. So when we chose to do the U-turn, we thought we were trailing massively behind in third, and that our only chance was to U-turn Team Team because Team Trader was so far ahead of us. Little did we know, we had actually passed Team Trader. So Team Team was way in the front and we didn't need to U-turn at all, and we could have made it to the end. Of course, that could have meant if we didn't U-turn that Team Trader could have U-turned us and we would have ended up going home. So I don't regret making the decision. It just really shocked me how it actually played out when we finished, because I just didn't realize how much the shifts had happened.
It all worked out, and it was just like a game mechanic for us. It was nothing like crazy or no big decision behind it, other than just to make it work for us.
I was never actually ever intended to be a contestant on The Amazing Race. When we first started, like, the Sage is the host of, you know, the game shows on AllEars.net. It was the very first last to leave challenge that were like, hey, you know, it'd be really cool because, you know, I have my own personal experience. I do hosting for live events. So like, hey, that'd be really cool if, you know, Sage did this. And it was well received. And so from that moment, the comments, along with our team, but mostly the comments were like, oh my gosh, Sage, you know, it'd be really cool if you hosted this thing. And a lot of it was The Amazing Race. So a lot of this, what happened came from you guys, came from the comments saying, oh my gosh, if you guys are doing this, we would love to see this, and The Amazing Race. Sage would make a funny, hilarious Phil or whatever. Which, again, wasn't doing a Phil impression. That's just me, baby.
Was there anyone off camera helping? Actually, there was. So, first off, the wonderful cinematography that you see during our videos is actually created by the help of Bria and Emma. They took a lot of those amazing B-roll shots. And then also JP took those amazing videos of our incredible host, Sage. And Quincy's mom, shout out to her. She chose Team Q&A's colors, yellow, which is awesome.
How long did everything take to create writing, filming, and editing? Like I said, the idea has been on the pitch board for a really long time, but when we actively decided to do it, the creation portion, I created the outline for what the show was going to look like, for what the episodes were going to look like, for what the kind of big beats of the competition were going to look like, how many eliminations we needed and stuff like that. And then Sage wrote the entire challenge. She wrote all the games and everything like that. I would say between the two of us, writing this probably took, you know, like 2 or 3 days. And then filming took us 4 days. We filmed 4 consecutive days, pretty much as you see it in the video. What was really cool about this was that it did not take us like 15-hour days, as these more difficult challenges sometimes do. Each Amazing Race day took around 5 to 6 hours, except for New Orleans, which was a whirlwind day where we actually flew out at 5 a.m.
It's 1:30 in the morning. My alarm just went off and Daisy thinks that I'm getting up to use the restroom. No, Daisy. I'm getting up to go to New Orleans.
So we were at the airport all together at 3 a.m. We flew out at 5 a.m. We filmed in New Orleans all day, and we got on a plane back at 7 p.m. and we were home by like 11. So we did a day trip to New Orleans, which was very intense. Editing wise, we filmed this, as you've probably noticed, back in December, in early December, and our editor has had the footage since then. But obviously, there's many other AllEars videos going up on the channel. So these videos are probably taking around like a week-ish to edit, maybe 2 weeks, depending on when he touches it, with a bunch of other videos getting mixed in. And they've had about 3 cuts each, where we see a first cut, give notes, and then a second cut, give notes, and then usually there's about 1 more cut. 2 to 3 cuts on this. Our editor is really incredible and has done an incredible job with this series. I'm so obsessed with the work he's done.
What happens when someone gets eliminated? Do they just get to hang at home for the rest of the game? Can you imagine? No, we don't. All of those pieces of footage that you saw during the games, whether it be those sped up walkthroughs or cinematic shots of the rides and the shows and the other attractions that we had to venture onto or take on during the game, those were all captured by me and Emma afterwards. So we were assigned to go to Magic Kingdom and Epcot and Animal Kingdom and Hollywood Studios and go get all those shots so that we could make this a really aesthetically pleasing video.
I don't want to die. Editor, if you use any of these in behind the scenes, I'll be so thrilled. Okay, Bria, we did it. The music's so loud and it's so copyrightable.
Quincy is behind this pillar. You can't see her right now, but she's behind this pillar, and so is Angie.
I'm like,
Anything?
And they were in line behind Miranda, and then they got out of the line, and you can't see them, but they're right behind us.
Hey, I'm proud of you.
Quincy especially is behind me, but you really can't see her. And
These are custom designed. Where's
by a famous designer.
Her name is Angie.
Angie?
It's Angie. Angie.
this is that point of the day where everything hurts and burns.
I know.
Can you move, please? Thank you.
Is this the New Orleans Express?
Let's have to be both mentally stable. Oh no!
We're out. We're done. We've lost
And
already.
physically stable. Oh, I'm double out.
One thing I love about AllEars videos is coming to Magic Kingdom just to leave Magic Kingdom.
I think it's cute. I think we should call it the Scare Floor Slush. With this being the first behind the scenes video of 2025, can you talk about future challenges this year that you're excited about? Oh, I'm excited to watch this part of the video because I just last week sent the entire cast every single video that we're doing in 2025 and asked them what they want to film, what they're interested in. So I'm really excited to see what they say here.
There are a lot on there that I am super excited about because I know they have titles, but we have no idea how we're gonna do them yet. One was like Mafia in Disney World, National Treasure in Disney World, Love is Blind in Disney World.
We might have something cool in the works really soon for you guys to see, and I'm super stoked to be a part of that.
Let's just say Disneyland. Maybe I'll leave it at that. I'm very excited for that.
I don't know anything.
You know, I'm excited to be a part of Monopoly once that happens again. Extreme hide and seek. I love hide and seek, so an extreme one sounds super awesome.
I live in the DFB bubble most of the time, and I feel like every now and then, like AllEars will send out the DFB signal, like the bat signal, and they'll be like, hey, do you want to join us in a challenge?
I think that I'm really excited to do National Treasure in Disney World. We've got Last to Leave Universal this year. We've got a lot of stuff planned for Epic Universe. Obviously everything talking about Epic Universe, but also our games at Epic Universe, more Universal games. And this year is gonna be the year that I ride every Disney World ride in one day. It is gonna be the year. It's gonna happen. Maybe it happens when I make the attempt next Saturday. You'll have to watch to find out.
If you like, what am I doing there? Punching the invisible ghost.
If you like this video, go ahead and like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe! My camera's dying, so I'm doing this really fast.
And now go watch The Amazing Race from the beginning. You've probably already watched it, but you can watch it twice. I'll see you there.